Beautiful.
Why do you start it like
Hey
that?
guys. I could edit it. I could do editing. Hey guys. So today I have my husband here
Right.
with me because I wanted to share. Stop. I wanted to share the story of how we met, how God brought us together, and yeah. So introduce yourself.
My name's Derek Lachance. I'm married to Sandra here. And yeah, that's who I am.
So, how did we meet?
Oh, this is your story.
So we met in high school, actually. We sat in English class together. We sat next to each other. And Derek used to ask me for advice on girls. Anyways, we were friends in high school, but I never saw him in that light. We were just friends. I was in a relationship, he was in a relationship. So we were just friends. But yeah, we always had each other on social media, but I'd never seen him since high school. I guess it would have been almost 10 years that we would have seen each other in real life, but we followed each other. Mainly on Instagram, I remember seeing stuff, Derek's posts and stuff. So yeah, we were both into new age spirituality, and Derek was kind of like a hippie. Yeah.
Oh.
Seriously. Oh man. So yeah, anyways, fast forward to 2018. I started, I guess it would have been 2018, end of 2017, I started posting about Jesus and started really seeking the Lord, and I noticed that Derek would like a lot of my posts about Jesus, and anyways, and then so I had shared my testimony on YouTube, and he was sharing his testimony with some friends one night, and one of my best friends was there, and he had told me about Derek and how Derek had an experience with Jesus and all this stuff, and I was super intrigued. And so anyways, he was in the back of my mind, and I kept feeling this nudge to invite him to church. So I even wrote something in my notes on my phone, hey Derek, you want to come to church and stuff? But I never sent it because I got nervous, because I don't know, it just felt like it was weird, and I didn't want to scare him off, thinking I want to convert him or something. I don't know, I just didn't do it. So, but a couple of months later, after I was sharing videos, he messaged me on Instagram, telling me he watched my testimony, and that was my cue to invite him to church. And so I really felt the Holy Spirit pushing me to hey, the door's open, invite him. So I did. I invited him to come to church with me on that Sunday, and I told him I'd pick him up because sometimes it's nerve-wracking to go to church on your own for the first time. So that's what I did. I picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
And
that day when the pastor spoke, it was he was talking to me.
Yeah.
Directly to me. It was pretty crazy. And I was pretty much jaw dropped the whole time. I was just
yeah, he was on the edge of his seat,
And then when I got in your car and you drove me home after, I was literally shaking the whole way home. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, he knew that that was God speaking through the pastor to him.
Yeah.
So I think we both knew right there that God was calling out to him, you know, like
Mhm.
using me to bring him to church and get him planted. And so we started hanging out a lot and reading our Bibles together, and
Joined a Bible study together.
yeah, we were doing a discipleship Bible study. And it was just so nice to like have someone my age on that journey with me, because I was feeling like so alone, and I just felt like no one was speaking my language. You know, like I have a lot of Christian friends now, thank God, but like at that time Derek was my first like friend of my age that was seeking the Lord, and it was so awesome. And then when did you realize you had feelings for me?
I don't know.
Derek painted me that cross when we first started hanging out, and that's when I knew that you liked me.
Well, I guess right around then.
Okay, well, when I knew, he had came into Urban Planet, which is where I work, and he came in with his roommate at the time, and yeah, like I said, I had never seen Derek in that light. Like I always just liked him as a friend. He was just he was a really nice guy, and like I didn't even really know him that much. Like we just knew each other in high school, and I knew he was into kind of like the similar stuff I was, like spiritually, and like he smoked weed and stuff like back then, right? So like we had like stuff in common, like even when we were in the world. But anyways, I just never saw him in that light. But like the one day he came into Urban Planet.
I wasn't smoking weed then.
No, I know. I just mean like when you were in the world, like even when we were in the world, like I noticed we had like things in common. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both weird.
Yeah, we were both weird. Yeah. But anyway, so he came into Urban Planet, and he was like, hey, like he came close to me, and like I looked in his eye, and like I seen like just like a spark in his eyes. Like I just like never like, I don't know, there was just like something in your eyes that like hit me in the
I told her I
spirit.
needed to talk to her after work, and
Yeah,
it was
it.
literally about Jesus or something about the Bible, and she thought I was gonna tell her I loved her. Or something.
No, it wasn't that. It was just like the way that you looked at me. I just like in that moment I was like attracted to you in more of like a more than a friend way. You know, it was the first time I had like seen like you. Like I was attracted to like your eyes, like just there was this like I don't know, just like the way like he looked at me, like it like I felt it in my spirit, and I was like, okay, whoa, like I don't know, I was just like right there, I like felt attracted to him. And I remember like sitting in church and he had his Bible, and like I was like attracted to him all of a sudden. It was weird. So, but I had just gotten out of a relationship, and so had he. So I was praying to the Lord. Yeah, our cats. I was praying to the Lord to take these feelings away from me if it wasn't his will. Like I was sold out. Like I wanted God's will, and I still want God's will. But like I just remember praying, like, if this is not your will, take these feelings away from me. Like I don't want to have another failed relationship. I don't want to have feelings for someone if it's just gonna end. Like I didn't want to be heartbroken again, because I'd been heartbroken so many times. And like I'm sure you felt like that too, you know, you didn't want to like jump into a relationship that was just gonna end.
I was praying for the same thing.
Yeah.
I was sick and tired of relationships that went nowhere.
Yeah, so we were both kind of in the same boat in that sense. Like we just didn't want another failed relationship. But we were just friends, and then you had told me that you had you had a dream. That's how you had told me you liked me.
Yeah, I had a dream that we were together, or we got married, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, or that we liked each other.
Okay, and then you didn't want to tell me, but then I pried it out. Do you remember what was that dream that you had?
Yeah.
And then you told me.
We were walking right in front of Gillies Lake.
Yeah, we were walking back to my place.
She's good at prying things out of me. Yeah. Even now.
Yeah. So he told me he liked me, and then it was mutual because like my feelings were growing stronger, you know. So that's why I knew it was God too, because I was truly like seeking his will, and I was asking him to take away these feelings. And like just the way we got together, it was all God, you know, like God is truly what brought us together. Like our love for Jesus and our experience with Jesus is literally what brought us together.
Yeah.
So I just knew that like God's hand was on it. And Derek was getting a lot of confirmations and stuff. And so we told each other we had feelings for each other, so it was mutual. And then
we didn't enter courtship for like another 3 months or something.
Yeah, but remember we had decided we were going to enter into courtship, and then I got convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had decided we were going to enter into courtship.
But it was too soon.
Yeah, it was too soon. It was the Holy Spirit saying, no, like I want both of you to focus on your relationship with me and just be friends and encourage each other. And like, so that's what we did for a few months. It was just
6 months.
Yeah, like
probably.
6 months. I just knew that God was going to open that door. Like, okay, you guys are ready to like seriously enter into courtship.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how he was going to reveal that to me, but he did. Remember that day I came to your place? And I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because Derek was ready. It was me.
I
had that stronger conviction, I think. Like,
I don't remember what you said. You just sat me down. You're like, I got something to say to you. I was like, oh man, what now?
Yeah, because we had a bit of a rough go. Like, we were both getting out of the world, so there's still things being purged out of us. Like, there was so many things that God was like working out of us and using each other to like show each other what
we were in the furnace together.
Yeah.
And we were butting heads on a lot of things, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of self-righteousness, and
Yeah.
just lots of pride we're being delivered from, and
Yeah.
just it wasn't very pretty.
No.
But
And
it's
like there
okay.
was things that like he would point out in me that I was like almost like in denial of, you know. It was like, no, like I didn't think of myself as self-righteous, but I was being really self-righteous in a lot of ways, and he was pointing that out to me, you know. And like vice versa, there was things that like I would point out in him that he would get mad at, you know. We'd get mad at each other for it, but like it was God like working through us to refine the other. And we're still going through that. It's like we still go through that, but like I don't know, I feel like we're growing like closer and closer at the same time, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much our story. And we started courtship, and we started courting, like really entered a relationship in August of 2018.
Yeah, and then I think it was like February or something. I don't know, I got a scripture. I forget what it is. I have it written down somewhere. Maybe I should have got that ready for this, but it was something along the lines of God was going to provide, and he was then I got a dream showing that pretty much what it was one of those like plugins with
Oh yeah.
it was one of those plugins with the I had a dream that and God was bringing me through a shopping aisle, and there was a bunch of these like power outlets with the surge protectors, like these things, and like there was a bunch of different ones. Some were bigger than others, some had the surge protector, some didn't, and I just had the revelation of what he meant by that like literally 3 months ago, so I had no idea what it meant. Like I had he had revealed some of it to me, but not the whole thing. So, pretty much what God was telling me was, whatever I put in, I'll get tenfold of. So, because I'm plugged into Him, and I'm faithful in my financing, so like tithing and stuff, that God was going to provide for the wedding and everything, because I didn't have a good job and everything was, I wasn't in a situation where I didn't even know how I was going to start saving up for a wedding. So I'm like, okay, well, you want me to marry Cassandra, but we don't have the funds for it. I don't really have a good job or anything. But then I got a finally my big breakthrough. I got a job at a mine, a local mine, underground, really good position, and like I pretty much tripled my salary, like in 1 year. So God, what He was telling me out of these outlets is, if I plug into Him and I stop doing it on my own strength, that whatever I put in, God will put a surge protector on it. So, and He's in control of all the outlets. So the more I give to Him, now I'm not confined to 2 outlets. He might open up another door, which will be the 3rd outlet, and He might open up another door, which will be the 5th outlet or the 6th outlet. So He's going to start opening some doors to me and allowing things to happen.
Yeah, and that's really what was happening.
And that He was going to protect everything on top of that, because these power blocks, they have surge protectors. So if a storm or if Satan tries to attack our finances or whatever, that God was going to protect it, when the power goes back on, you turn the surge protector back on, and if you got your DVD player or whatever's plugged in, or whatever God gave to you is going to be protected. It'll still be there after the storm. So that's pretty much what happened, and we were able to pay for the whole wedding cash. I was able to pay for her ring cash, my ring cash, like just everything.
Everything was just like falling into place, and
we saved up like,
it was
14 grand in like 3 months.
Yeah, because we planned our wedding very because we got engaged in May of 2019,
June, July, August,
and then we got married in September. So it was really quick.
4 months. Yeah, so we were able to save up for everything in 4 months, and our honeymoon.
Yeah, and we went on our honeymoon.
Your sister paid for our flights.
Yeah, my sister, my aunts, and my mom got together and paid for our flights, which was awesome. Like, we were just like so blessed through the whole
lots of stuff happened, and it happened really quick, and it just we told God, give us a hard time, put the brakes on it if it isn't from you.
And that's the other thing too, like if it wouldn't have been God's will, like God would have put a block to everything, it wouldn't have. God was just like opening all the doors. Everything happen. It went like smoothly, even though it was stressful. Like planning a wedding it's stressful, and we didn't even have like a whole evening thing. Like we just did a brunch, and it's like stressful to plan a wedding. There's so much to think about. We basically did most of it on our own. So.
Yeah.
But so that's the story of how we met and how we got married and where we're at now. And I just wanted to share that because it's truly like all the glory goes to God, because He is literally like what brought us together. Like that's literally this at the center of our marriage now is Jesus. Like
literally the only reason why we met is because I went to a friend's house. I was ministering to them about Jesus. I wasn't even saved. Like I was saved, but I
you didn't give your life to Christ.
It's like He came for me, revealed Himself to me. I repented that night of, like, I truly had a heart for Jesus and confessed Him out of my mouth. Like, I believe I was saved that night, but I didn't start living for Him.
It's like,
it's like I was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the world. Like, I was still drinking. I didn't really. Then I started getting convicted about it, but I didn't really know what was happening. Like, it was weird because I wasn't part of a church. I wasn't part.
And that's why it's important to be part of a local church too, because like where you know that God led you to, because it keeps you grounded. It keeps you, you get roots, and you meet other believers, and it just like strengthens your faith and encourages you, and like it's important to have
so
a
that was
pastor.
my problem. I was still hanging out with a bunch of hippies, and I was still smoking pot, and I was still drinking. Like the night that I was ministering to her friend about Jesus, I was drinking. So, like
he had an encounter, but
I didn't know what to do with it.
Didn't know what
and
to
then
do with it.
Satan was really tormenting me through the whole time too, because he knew as soon as I really gave my life to Christ, like he lost another soul. So he was tormenting me, like.
And that's the thing, when you have like an encounter with Christ, like, because I remember me too, like I would start feeling like I was crazy. It was like, did I actually experience it? Like, and then you'd share it with people that like are already skeptical, and they even make you feel crazy and stupid, and you're like,
oh, and my roommate made me feel like I was going crazy because I changed so much, so drastically, so quick.
And you're like on fire because it's so like real.
Yeah, all I want to do is talk about Jesus. So she's like, "What is wrong with you?" type thing. And nothing against her, but like I could see myself even being like that if I had a roommate that just a switch went off, like So
but that's what makes
you just don't understand it.
And even yourself, you're not understanding, because like you have Satan in one ear, and then God's pulling at you too, like this way, but Satan's like not giving up the fight,
No, like I remember I was still smoking, and at the end, every time I would smoke, like the last week that I smoked before I really got the conviction, and I didn't get that real conviction till I started going to church. Mm-hmm. And our pastor went through drug addiction, so he was talking about it and how
you really related to him.
So right away I was like, oh man, like I need to stop smoking and giving legal access to Satan like that. It's something that started off being so good. Like I remember when I first started smoking, how it was just like, it was you're young and everyone's doing
fun.
It, and you feel like it's fun, and it's just like Satan kind of disguising it, making it look like it's nothing.
Yeah, but the deception too, because I remember when I used to smoke weed, and like before Christ, I used to think like, oh, it's opening up my spiritual horizons. Like I feel more spiritual. I feel like I'm tapped into like my inner self, and like you think you're all spiritual, when you're smoking weed and getting high. But really, you're opening up doorways to the demonic.
Hippie that's like knows something that other people don't know.
Yeah, like, hidden knowledge, which is such a deception. Like there is no such thing as hidden knowledge. Like God gave us the Bible to share with us His revelation and His truths. The truth. Yeah, the truth. So no one has secret wisdom and secret knowledge.
And you just like make it up in your own head too. Like
you think you're so, like I remember being self-righteous like that, like I was so wise and like
so anyways, we were very much alike in that way. So I'm very thankful that at least you were self-righteous, but at least you weren't self-righteous enough to see through me. Like at least you gave me a chance, and you realized, okay, well this guy could still change and stuff. Because when you first met me, like I was
hard to deal with.
I was a big hippie there, like huge hippie.
Yeah, and I was already like on the, like I was getting out of the world too, but I had already been like doing the Bible study for 2 months before like so like I was like more self-righteous in that sense too, because I was already learning a lot and stuff, and
and I was like,
and sometimes I would say things to him and he'd get mad because he was like, no.
It's true.
But anyways, God used each other to grow each other, and we just become more like Christ in that sense. And sometimes you think like, oh, it's so hard, like this can't be God. But no, like God will use difficult circumstances. God cares more about our character than He does of our comfort. Like God wants your character to grow, you to be sharp and to stand firm in the faith, and you need to become more like Christ. Before you become a Christian, you're full of the world. So you have all these like qualities and stuff you picked up throughout your life that are not godly, are not righteous. So
No, and the world accepts pretty well, pretty much everything now. So anything goes. So at the same time, people are like, oh, well, it's legal now, or this is legal.
Yeah, if something's legal,
no,
then
you're
it's
allowed
fine.
doing that. I mean, it's fine. It's like, well, I don't know, man. Like everyone knows deep down inside the world is far astray right now. Like we're just in a place where, like, everyone knows the pressure of the world. Like everyone knows something's going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, everyone's like, "Oh, well, this is good. Everything's good." Well, that's the problem.
Well, people are looking at everything else except for God.
Everything goes. That's a real problem.
And when you become a born again believer, you know the whole world is going this way. Now you're going against the current, you know, so you are looked at like a weirdo and different.
I always say, better be crazy for Jesus than just plain old crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was plain old crazy. At least now I'm crazy for something.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's our story and.
Yeah, we're just rambling now.
Yeah. we're preaching now.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll make more videos together. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoy.
Adios.
Adios.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Seriously.